Hey everybody, good morning. This is Michelle with Creative Operation, and today I have for you my next offering called the Swirl Circle Card Technique, and I saw this and fell in love with it, and I thought I would try it. So I even went out and bought dies so I could make it because I just really liked it so much. So this is a absolutely gorgeous technique, and it creates a really pretty effect, and I just absolutely loved it. So let me show you here real quick. These are my examples. Honestly, I have no idea. The technique has been out there for a while. A lot of people are doing it. There's all kinds of different variations. I just want to show you. This is just really cool. This is new to me. Really thought it was neat. So for the examples, I'm using October 31, which is by Fancy Pants, and it was back in 2011. And I'm using Park Lane papers, but I'm also using artisan cardstock as well. The bats are Mambi chips. The skull is Jolie's, and I did distress ink everything. But isn't this an adorable card? I mean, the technique is just really cool with the layers. Now, I've seen a lot of these cards, and they didn't use a lot of pattern papers that I saw. There was a lot that were doing like solids and everything. I just love the way it looks with all the different textures with the papers. Then on the inside, just a real simple card, but it has a lot of wow factor on the front. I just thought it was fun. So I just thought, well, you know what? This is something I hadn't played with, and I'm sure other people haven't played with either. So I just wanted to share with you. Now, the fun part is that when you do this technique, because of the way you need to cut your papers, you actually get two cards out of the circles that we're going to cut. So, again, a very simple inside. Pattern paper with some artisans, or not artisan, well, it is artisan, but a blank spot so you can do your, your sentiment and everything. And I used, some stickers and just made a really cute card. So let's get started with the tutorial. This is really going to be fun. So when I talk about using the dies, I bought circle dies so that I could go ahead and do this, technique, and I chose these shapes. Now you can pick any circle size you want, let's say. So I just went with the outside, and then I counted in 3, and I just randomly picked them basically, but you need 4 circles that are kind of in the same what's the word, ratio, I guess. So when I started on the outside, then I counted in 3, and I picked that one, and I counted in 3, picked that one, and so on and so forth. So I got these infinity dies, I think, at Joann's. Yeah, they were at Joann's, and I got them on sale. They were like $10. So, and they work really, really well. So I picked these sizes out, and I just clipped them together so that I could show you which sizes I picked. So then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and cut some circles. So when I did this, so you cut your circles, 1 in each size, okay? And in order to make the swirls, you have to kind of reverse the order and cut more circles. So I already went ahead and did this. So like, for example, if I show you this, so I have the smallest circle in this pattern, but I also have the biggest circle in this pattern. And I have the next smallest and the next biggest, okay? Does that make sense? The next biggest, the next smallest, and then this very smallest in this. So you have to kind of reverse them. So you'll need 2 circles of each of the ones. So just put them in the order that you want, and then cut, the smallest and the biggest, and the next biggest and the next smallest, and so on and so forth till you get all of those. Once you get your circles cut, then you're going to cut them in half, okay? So we need to do that. And then in order to do that, I'm going to grab my cutter here. Okay, so this one is 1.5 inches, which makes it really easy. So I need to cut it at 1 3/4. So I'm just going to line that up at my 1 3/4 inch mark and carefully cut that in half. Okay, the next one here, for my purposes, I'm going to put it in, and it measures at 2.5. So that would be 1 1/4. And I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to try and get it like to go with the pattern here and cut that in half. this guy here, I'm going to try and keep the bats up at the top so that they don't get wonky. So this is 3.5. So that would be 1 3/4. So I'm going to line that up at the 1 3/4 mark, cut that in half. And then my last one should be, this one is 4.5. So you just have to measure the circles that you use. So this is 4.5. So that is 2 1/4. And I'm just going to line that up with the 2 1/4 mark and cut that in half. Okay, so once you have your circles cut, then I'm going to ink my edges really super quick because I did ink the rest of them already. I'm using Tim Holtz Distress ink, and it's in Vintage Photo. That's my go-to. I love that one. It works with pretty much everything. And you guys know me, I'm not much of a inker and mixed media person, but I do every once in a while like to ink my stuff, and so I do. So then what you're going to do is you're going to make your circles, okay? So we're going to line these up, and we're just going to glue them down, okay? Just like so. So when we do that, we're going to have 2 like top halves, right? Or 1 top half, excuse me, and 1 bottom half. And then you're going to do it with the opposite, okay? And you're going to have the same thing, okay? Does that make sense so far? So far, so good? Okay. So what I'm going to do is put this off to the side. I'm going to glue these down. You're going to glue them the exact same way. You're going to start at the corner here, and you're going to just glue them down, okay? So like these here, these were cut out of the same circles, and you're just going to glue them down just like that. And when I get done, I will be right back. So I have my circles cut. So you're going to cut the same color out of the biggest and the smallest, and then you're going to go up to the next biggest and the next smallest and cut circles, okay? And so on and so forth. So you have kind of the opposite circles cut. So you're going to need 2 of each one in the different sizes. Then you're going to cut them in half, and you're going to glue them together exactly like this. You're going to line them up at the edge here and here, and you're just going to glue them together. So then we're going to mix and match, okay? So we're going to use this and this. So you want the smallest circle and the biggest circle to match, okay? Does that make sense? And then we're going to line them up like that. So the smallest and the biggest, and then they're going to line up. And that's how you're going to get that swirl effect. But it doesn't look like it's anything right now, but wait till we get it on the card. So how does that sound? So what I'm going to do is I have my card here. So I have the inside pieces for my card. These are 5x7 cards. So I do have my pattern paper for the inside cut at 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then I have the piece of white for my sentiment at 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, so that's going to go on the inside of my card here. Then I have my piece of pattern paper that I'm going to put on the top. And again, this is 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. Then I'm going to have my circles that will go right in the middle. We're going to line those up, put them in the middle, and then I get a border strip. So you get a border strip of something. So on these were sticker border strips that I had like randomly in my stash that say Happy Halloween on them. You're just going to cut them to 6 3/4, and they're going to go right over where those circles meet, and that is what helps get that beautiful swirl effect. This one also was a border strip from my stash, and I just put it together and cut it at 6 3/4, put it over the seam, and voila, you have a card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these ghosts in here. Those are going to go on the inside of the card as well. So I'm going to just have this, and we're going to glue them down. So first thing I'm going to do is glue this down. This is a fun technique. I love it. I think it just turned out really cute. Now, this paper here is by SEI, and I got it quite a while ago as well. It's called Spooks, and just really a cute paper collection here. So once you get your pattern paper on, then you got to lay down your circles. So the way that I'm doing it, and this is just kind of, I mean, it's seriously like almost perfect the way I, with the way I used my circles. But if you lay down you kind of center them top to bottom, and then I'm laying this down. The pattern paper, the center mark is here. It goes to 3 3/8. And then if you lay down your circles, the second circle here goes to the 0. And this line, the side of the circle goes to 2.5. Okay, with me so far? So this is only going to go to 2. And this is again, this is a 4.5 inch circle. So 4.5, 3.5, 2.5, 1.5. Okay, that's the circle sizes I use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that down. So I've got my centering ruler here. I'm right in the middle of my card. I'm going to lay this down. That second circle right here should land right in the middle, and this should land at 2.5 for this size circle, okay? So if you're using different size circles, you're going to have to play with the measurements, okay? But for these, that's what I did. So then you're just going to glue that down, and then you're going to take your second circle, and when you glue this down, you're just going to match your patterns, okay? So that you have your copper here, your gray here, your plaid here, and this. Okay, that's how it's going to look. Then you take your strip, and I've already prepared it with my ink, and you're just going to lay this right across. And if you want to get really super technical, you can go to the center of the card, like so, and just lay it right across your card. And you have that beautiful, beautiful piece there. All right, then you can put this in here. I'm gonna get glue on here, and I'm probably getting too close to the camera. Sorry about that. Yeah, I used to get SEI papers all the time. My BFF and I used to go to the Creative Keepsakes conventions. I mean, we still do, but they used to be a lot bigger than they are now. Unfortunately, I think economy and COVID and everything else has messed everything up. But SEI used to be a huge company that would come there, and I would just buy tons of their papers that were so cute. There we go. All right. So we have that. And then we have our little ghosty, and we can put our little ghosty in here. And then you have your cute little card. Isn't that adorable? The little ghosts came from SEI as well. I just thought they're just cute. So there's that first card. Okay, so then we'll grab our second card here, and got pieces already cut out for that. So I have my little border. I have another ghost. I have the pattern for the top of the card, and then I have my papers for inside the card with the little black cats. All right, so I think what I'm going to do, let's see, does that have a right side? Like so. This one I might do a wee bit different as far as, well, no, maybe not. Scratch that, reverse it. Okay, so I'm going to put that down. Okay. And then this is going to line up something like in that neighborhood, and I'm just kind of eyeballing top to bottom. I'm pretty sure Yeah, that's about roughly there. Okay. And then I'm going to line this up again, same size card. So I'm just lining that up. Okay. I'm kind of eyeballing it, but I'm also trying to get it in the center, you know, kind of a hybrid. All right. So I'm lining that edge, that left edge up at the 2.5 inch mark on my centering ruler. So I'm centered in the middle of the card. Okay. Doing that. Got my bats going the right way. So if you use directional paper, you do have to watch that. It's a lot easier if you don't use directional paper, but since the bats were only on part of it, there we go. Match that up. And our border strip. And then you can, of course, add decorations that you want, whatever you want to do. These kind of look a little, I don't know, elegant, I guess? I don't know. I don't know what the word is. There we go. All the way across. Isn't that just, I mean, I think that is just a stunning card. I just love the way that looks. That swirl effect is just gorgeous. All right. So we'll put our little black cats in there. And then we are done. And the fun part about this particular card is when you do this technique, you end up getting 2 cards out of all of those circles, which is kind of fun. All right, so black cats and a place for a sentiment. And I'm just eyeballing that. And then we can add our little ghosty. And we have 2 really fun Halloween cards to send. Here. All right. So there's that. So we have today, we made these cards out of papers that I had in my stash from SEI. And then my demo pieces here, my practice pieces, or examples, I should say, are October 31 by Fancy Pants. And they're just beautiful, beautiful cards. So again, I did use infinity dies, and the size of my circles were 4.5, 3.5, 2.5, and 1.5. But you can use any size you want. You just have to make sure that you measure properly and get everything kind of centered the way you want it. But hey, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Well, that concludes my tutorial for today. Again, this is day number 8, or excuse me, week number 8 of Sandy's 13 Frights Before Halloween 2022. And these are just gorgeous little cards to make. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any questions, let me know. And I will see you again soon with more. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.